Welcome in and thank you for tuning into another Hextechs dual view of the 8-man tournament we did. I'm Mythic Fishwell, I'm here with Hextech, and we've got a game for you between PhoenixForge Hex and JuzamJedi, and Havoc's going to tell us a little bit about the matchup.
Alright, so we've got Phoenix running a Ruby control deck, which you don't see very often, and then we've got JuzamJedi with the Sapphire Diamond control deck. So let's just jump straight into the matches and see how it goes. So here's the coin flip. The very epic coin flip, the space coin. And let's see who gets a pick here. It is Phoenix, so let's see what he wants to do here. Does he want to go first? Very likely. First he's going to...
He's tanking a little bit.
He's going to remember his manners, tell his opponent good luck, have fun. Alright, so he's going first. Let's see what hands he gets here. So, 1 resource, 2 resources, 3, beautiful. That's ideal, 3 resources is great. And that's a pretty decent hand. And then Juzam...
They both got fun hands.
I mean, Juzam's is a bit resource heavy, but, you know, as long as he draws into actual cards, he'll be fine. And he'll obviously be able to pump that marble, so... all good.
Yeah, resource heavy with a marble deck is fine, because you want to be
exactly
throwing your resources into your marble, and the more you can throw into it, the better.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Phoenix's hand isn't that great against Juzam, but he obviously doesn't know what he's playing yet, because this is the first game they played against each other.
Yep.
But the Heat Wave and the Burn are actually kind of... not dead cards per se, because they do hit like things like Buccaneer, which you see Juzam just drew there.
Yeah.
And they hit like totems and stuff, but other than that, they're not the greatest.
I mean, based on the current hands we see, Juzam can just, you know, he's going to be able to just play out that marble, and Phoenix isn't going to really be able to put anything on the board that Juzam's going to care about, so he'll just start pumping that marble. And once that's online, Phoenix could be in a lot of trouble. We don't know if he's running Chaos Keys or anything that will get rid of it, but we'll soon find out, I guess. So there's...
yeah, I assume he has to be running Chaos Keys, otherwise there's no answer to marbles at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's very like, he's either got them in main deck, like a few, and maybe some more on sideboard. But here comes the Soul Marble. He's actually picked up another Soul Marble as well. But yeah, so this could be bad for Phoenix here based on his current hand, because he's got, you know...
Yeah, one of the... While Fulmination's really good for Phoenix to draw, you know, it's the only draw power you can get out of being a mono Ruby. It is kind of unfortunate just to give your opponent more cards, because the more cards you give them, they're going to draw into more marbles and more totems and all these things they kind of keep answering. Fortunately, Phoenix drew a Burn to the Ground and a Ruby Lance there, so it's 2 ways to answer things. Unfortunately, none of them answer that marble, which will flip in at least 2 more turns.
Yeah, once that marble is flipped, you know, Phoenix will be stuck with a lot of dead cards until the marble dies. And, I mean, based on, you know, if he successfully susses out what Phoenix is doing here, then he'll probably just even go Soul Cavalry, because he is running Dimmed, and Phoenix will not be able to answer a Soul Cavalry without pretty much 3 Heat Waves. So, he is going to have a Hex Engine next turn, so that will make, you know what, he might even be running Chimes, because, you know, all these actions, ramp to Chimes, and then he could just burn to the ground, Juzam in the face.
So a time ripple on the Fulmination there kind of hurts.
I mean, that's kind of, I mean... I guess he doesn't want Rage Fires to just, you know, he doesn't have any Rage Fires yet, but you'd expect to see those in the deck as well. Oh, he's actually does actually run some troops here. So he's got Drew, which is interesting, because, I mean, he doesn't really have any reliable way in this color to get, you know, health back, or, you know, so he will...
playing Turbine, potentially.
Potentially.
To untap the Hex Engine
I
and stuff
don't think that would be great, though, just because of, you know, that's all it would be used for is pretty much the Drew so far, or the Hex Engine, I guess, but... So, I mean, I guess that would be okay, but it's still a bit iffy. So, what did he just do there? Sorry, I missed that. Oh, burn.
Threw a burn in his face.
Yeah,
which seems a little bit aggressive, considering you have to assume your opponent has to be playing marbles.
Yeah.
As well as potentially, I mean, not marbles, totems rather.
Yeah.
And, you know, potentially...
I think he's happy with that, though, just because he's already still got a Heat Wave and a Ruby Lance. So anything that does come out, he knows he can kill, because Ruby Lance will kill, you know, pretty much anything at this point. You know, because there's not many things. I mean, Juzam actually could have a Drew of his own, so that is, you know, something that we could see next turn. You know, had he been, you know, he might have it in the deck. We don't know, but and let's see. So he'd be able to do 5 damage with a Ruby Lance. So he wouldn't actually be able to kill a Drew with his current hand. If he had the burn, he would have been able to. But well, he's actually he's at 7 resources, so. He wouldn't be far off it with the burn to the ground as well, but he really probably wants to save that just to do it directly to Juzam's face.
Did Juzam forget to pump the marble into turn there?
I think you're correct there. I mean, yeah, it's still sitting at 1, so yeah, he definitely did forget. That could be very bad for him.
Because right now he'd be gaining 6 life and dealing 6 damage had he not done that.
Yes, so. that is quite relevant there. If he did miss out on pumping 4 points into it, which it looks like he did. So that is just a bit of a misplay there. That could cost him quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
We do see that.
6 life is definitely relevant, especially if he does play Chimes and he's ramping into some more research with the Hex engine. If he slams the Chimes and burns to the ground up for 14 or something pretty soon here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to slow him down quite a lot
there's
here.
The Chimes.
There's the Chimes. So he is running Chimes. And that is bad for Juzam.
So Dwarven Turbine is actually pretty sweet here. The Chaos Key is really nice because you can just slam that and void away the marble, which is nice.
I wouldn't even... maybe he might want to do... Actually, yeah, he might... I mean, he's going to go for... Yeah, you do it now because, he's then just not using any of those 5 resources, so you'll have to bring out a new one, and that's probably going to be too slow at that point. So getting rid of it now is probably the correct choice. Because
again,
if it is
not pumping the marble there was kind of a downfall.
Yeah.
Because if he had pumped it, it'd be a 6/6 now.
Yeah.
And wouldn't be Chaos Cube proof.
Could be
Chaos Cube proof.
Could be enough to cost him the game here. That one little misplay. Sometimes that's all it takes. So let's see. He's going to obviously void this here. He's actually might be thinking of doing Drew instead. But I think Chaos King, it is the right move. Because
if he doesn't Chaos Key it now, it's going to flip.
It will flip, exactly. And it will go to Cavalry. And, I mean, he would be able to kill the Cavalry. Well, not really, because, he would need to possibly get another Heat Wave. Because then, with Chimes and Heat Waves, that'll do just huge amounts of board wipes. So he's actually going for the Drew.
He's going for the Drew.
Yeah, I think the...
Maybe he's thinking he's going to flip it into Cavalry. Into armaments, rather. But
or maybe that's what he's trying to force by doing the Drew.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe he's like, well, you won't be able to attack at least one turn because Drew will be blocking, so maybe he'll just see if he doesn't... I mean, he can't. He can't do armaments because he knows the Chaos Gear will just kill it, so he will do... he will do the Cavalry. I mean, maybe he's planning on just untapping the Drew, sacking 8 health. Maybe. That could be what he's planning on doing here.
I mean, Drew plus Chimes plus Burn to the Ground is actually a pretty quick clock. Unfortunately, the Chimes is still in his hand, though.
Yeah.
So, that's the only problem with this turn of plays.
Yeah, I think the Chaos Key and then doing Chimes the next turn, because, it's cost 2 to bring out the other Soul Marble, which, he doesn't even know that he has another one. I mean, he's now just going to actually just Buccaneer the Drew. So, the Chimes would have been... The Chaos Key into Chimes this turn, next turn would have been a lot better. Because now... I mean, the Marble's still not online, but that's fine. He's, the Drew's back in hand. It's not going to do anything. So, he brings out another Soul Marble. All right. So he's actually just getting prepared because he knows that the current one on the board is probably still just going to die. So brings out his other one here. So we've had a few misplays not misplays, but one misplay by Juzam, which he would have had a Cavalry earlier, which would have been put him in a great position. He would have probably actually been had his opponent on 8 health
he's probably
now.
Very close to dead by now.
Whereas bringing out the Drew there was probably not what he really wanted to do. So now he pretty much has to Chaos Key that Soul Marble, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if he lets it live, then the other one's going to flip, and then he's going to have 1 million damage on the field, facing him down.
So he does have the charge power here, which does get him a troop on the board.
So he's probably charge power first just to see what he gets.
Yeah.
If he gets 6/6, then maybe he just wants to, just leave that there.
Yeah. See, I would have probably done the yeah. I mean,
odds of you getting a 6/6 isn't very high
he's
charge power.
Quite possibly worried. I mean, he's doing it, so therefore I think he should have done it first just to see. But I mean, there is a threat of another Buccaneer coming out, so. So it's actually, is it based on the resources?
It's a 5/5.
So 5/5's not bad, but does he want to burn the Buccaneer as well? I mean, he doesn't need to, of course. So yeah, he probably just leaves open the resources here, I think. And I mean, he has dealt with the Soul Marble, so that's somewhat good. But there is another one on the board. He's gonna
probably wants to save the burn for if he flips it into an armaments to burn it in response. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now.
Why did he use a Ruby Lance though? Oh, I know why. Okay, so Chimes obviously with burn means 4 damage to the face, whereas Ruby Lance cannot be done to the face. And since there is a Soul Marble on the board, may as well just keep the stuff that can be done to a champion in your hand, and just use the stuff that will be pretty much irrelevant very soon. So he is actually running Drew. Juzam is, so that's interesting. So
well, Drew plus Soul Marble is a 10-10
yes.
Steadfast.
It is very
Dimid getting you 10 more life.
Very good.
So if you can get that early,
he's going to be upset
GG.
now that he used that that Ruby Lance. So he pretty much has to. Let's see. I mean, he could take the damage. But that's Dimid charge, so it's also getting his health, opponent health. So I think I don't think he wants to use the. I mean, he's got another burn to the ground now, so maybe he wants to actually just. Can he actually do that 6, 7, 8? So he can't actually kill it with burn to the ground.
He could bash in and see if his opponent blocks it.
Could do that. Yep.
Like just take the chance.
I think he might just play out the Drew here. Oh, he's going for the Chimes. All right, that's not a bad idea. I think that's probably what I would have done as well, because you can take 8 damage when you're at full health.
I would have said the burn though. I would have attacked, see if he blocked, and then double burned it maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's wrong.
I think attacking would have been the correct move there. Then you could play Chimes, and then you could also burn as well, and then the copy could have still been done to the face. Actually, no, sorry, that's incorrect. Because 5, so it would have been he would have needed to still do both to the Drew, but I mean it still would be just basically a 1-for-1. So.
And now his opponent's gonna flip that marble into an armaments and be able to bash him for 10 and gain 10, which takes him out of range for double burn to the ground too.
I mean, the health gain here, let's actually calculate. So he's obviously going to go to 24 health. Like, that's going to happen 100%, or maybe even more, because he did throw out a resource, so that is going to be a 10-10. So he's going to 20... Wait, what did I say? So I was actually incorrect there, but yeah.
You said a 10-10. I don't know what else you said.
Sorry, he is going to 24 health here thanks to Dimid. So, how much damage can Phoenix do? If he hits a resource, that'll put him at 9, so he can do a 16 damage burn to the ground. Which is not going to be enough, because then he'll just gain back 10 again on the next turn, thanks to the Drew again. So, and he can't actually interact with that Drew anymore. So this could be very troublesome, because the health gain he's getting with the Drew. So Phoenix is actually in a very troublesome position, just because he can't, I mean, he could Heat Wave, that'll do 4, so Heat Wave's actually going to do 8, if he does both. I mean,
if he draws another heat wave, then he could.
Well, yeah, he can, but he needs to attack. Hope his opponent blocks, which I don't think he will. He's going to attack. Looks like he had another draw there, but I think he will attack.
Well, had he attacked last turn, I think his opponent may block this turn. But the fact that he didn't attack last turn means that he's like definitely trying to bait him into something now.
Yeah.
So he lost the ability to even bluff.
Pretty much. So this is very troublesome for him, because look at Juzam's hand. I mean, you got Grelk in there as well, which is playable. So this is not going to be enough. Like I said, he's just going to be gaining back 10, so he's really only doing 6 damage here. I believe. So so he puts him to 8, so he's actually just going back to 18. So 6 damage, real damage there, because that's his whole turn done. And he didn't even attempt to do the bluff. So is he? I mean, he has to. Well, technically, he has to block. So he couldn't really attack in there. So never mind. He is at 10 health, and Drew is 10 damage. So there's the Grelk and there's the win. So that'll be game.
Well, I guess what he was going for there was if he didn't have Grelk, he could have blocked, gone to 5, and then tried to burn to the ground again for a couple.
Yeah, I don't think it still would have been enough. It would have been. It depends on. That still wouldn't have been enough. It would have been like, because he would have went back to 18, I think it was, and then therefore he would have been able to do another 16. I mean, if he hit a resource actually, which he
had a resource in hand, so it would have been 17. He would have done, so it would have been 1 short. If he drew like a resource,
it would have been an extra 2 damage because it copies them 1, wouldn't it? So so we would have actually had fatal next turn, provided he could survive. But I mean, he obviously might not have been expecting the Drew there, because I mean he did use that Ruby Lance, which would have killed the Drew. I'm pretty sure he had 8 Ruby at that point. Actually, he might not have, but it would have been something that could have potentially killed it with combined with just one other thing. So that Ruby Lance usage there on the Buccaneer was probably the biggest problem there. I mean, Juzam would have won this game a lot sooner, though, had he not missed that Soul Marble activation. So let's see.
So we were seeing Juzam look at try to throw in Stone Skins in his deck. What do you think of that? Would you probably side in Stone Skin here?
I mean, he knows he's got... I mean, Mono Ruby, basically, your only access to get rid of those Soul Marbles is Chaos Key. So he knows he's very likely going to be going up against 4 of those now. But, you know, it is slow. So it's very likely he'd be able to get the Soul Marble into a Soul Cavalry before it could die.
Well, Stone Skin I was thinking mostly for the damage to the face.
Well, yeah.
The rage
I mean, I think it's still good.
Because you can't Stone Skin away a Chaos Key mix. It's not a...
Well, no, I just was meaning more that he, the Soul Marbles will protect his troops.
Okay.
So, you know, he doesn't need... But yeah, that is valid. You know, just protecting his face, basically. So, I think it's a good matchup here for Juzam. But let's see how Phoenix wants to sideboard. Ooh, look at his deck there. He's got some interesting things. Like Slaughter Gear. What's he actually wanting to transform with that?
We could transform his
the Hex engine?
Chaos Keys, I guess, in the irrelevant matchups.
I guess...
Or a tapped Drew into a Warhulk.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the Hex engines if he's got too much, you know, if he's getting... Because he does have the Surge Mech to accelerate. And then once that's done, he can just turn it into something else.
So it looks like he brought in inputums there. It seems kind of odd considering there's not really a lot of artifacts.
Well, it does kill Drew, provided there's no Soul Marble. And Stone Skin doesn't actually stop that, does it? Because it's, you know, a troop.
No, it's not.
So,
yeah, because it goes
troop activation. So, I mean, that's pretty good, because he will be able to kill Drew with that. So that's quite... I kind of agree with that. The Total Meltdown, however... I don't know about that.
Especially just a third way to get rid of the Drew, I guess.
I mean, yeah, it is basically like an extinction just for Drew, basically. So, I mean, that's not too bad. It's not too bad.
He may want to get more aggressive to bring in the Tarrasques and maybe even the Zoltogs.
Even...
So he's going to do that.
Oh, he's bringing in a lot of stuff here. So, yeah, he's got the Tarrasques, he's got the Zoltogs, and some Scrap Welders. I think the biggest problem here is what he's going to face is Dimid. The Dimid heals with big troops is, you know, he needs to be able to get rid of... I mean, he's got lots of stuff now to get rid of Drew. So, you know, he needs to hope to get rid of that before it just heals Juzam for way too much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not really a whole lot.
However...
You could bring in maybe the Tatalka.
Sorry, I did actually just miss something. That he does actually have Witch. So that will prevent life drain, provided it stays on the board.
That's true.
So... It's not bad. So, nice hand there for Phoenix. 3 resources is ideal. And Juzam's is pretty good. Missing the diamond. I think it's still... I mean, it's a bit iffy, because if he doesn't get the diamond, he'll obviously be in trouble, just sitting there for doing nothing for a while, which he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to not be playing Soul Marble, and he'll be able to play out the Drew on turn 5. But, you know, provided he does hit resources. So, I think he has kept it. And I think I would have probably kept that as well. It is not that great though. I mean, he has to obviously hope to get that diamond, and I'm sure the odds of him hitting one is fairly good. So he hasn't got it yet, though.
I mean, he also has the draw engine of the Protector Defender, which I believe has a draw gem in it. So if he hits a diamond at all, he can start drawing a bunch of cards. He may think that Phoenix took out some of the burns, considering they don't. The only thing he saw with 2 toughness in the deck the first game was the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Though obviously he has to assume there's totems as well.
Yeah.
But he may be thinking there's like maybe 2-3 burns in the deck, so the Defender's not the worst to have in there either.
Oh, he's got the diamond now. That's good. So now that's all pretty much...
So the 2...
Sorry.
With the 2 marbles and the Defender, it's pretty sweet for him.
Definitely,
so,
definitely. You can now...
Slim on marble next turn, I'd guess.
That Zoltog could be a problem, though, on turn 4. And there's a Tarrasque as well to follow up. So, provided Phoenix hits, you know, just one more resource. I mean, he's got to have the Zoltog out. And Juzam doesn't really have an answer for that yet. So he could start creating some free dudes. But it's very likely Juzam might have the... So we're going to see a Soul Marble here for sure. But yeah, that Zoltog may... Yeah, it's very likely going to be hitting in and not being stopped. So we'll get a free Savage Raider, which is not irrelevant. I mean, it's not too great, but it is a free troop, and it is something... Juzam still, you know, he can't really deal with either of them. So that is a bit of a problem for him.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 4 damage this turn, 6 damage next turn, plus the Tarrasque, that's a ton of damage next turn.
He did actually get the resource,
like 13 damage?
That is,
so that's like 13 damage in a turn.
Could be a quick one here. Could be a quick one based on Juzam's current hand. He does get an exile, which he can't play. So there's that diamond, not having the diamonds coming back to haunt him again. Because I'm pretty sure he would like to exile that Zoltag right now.
He's going to play the defender to block probably
good.
Here, though.
That's good that he's playing these, because now he can block. I mean, it's Crush, so he can block and kill it at least, so it won't be coming back to hit him again.
It doesn't have Crush.
The Tarrasque here.
Tarrasque, yeah.
He'll chump block the Zoltog and then block and kill. Well, then again, double burns, so he could just do that.
Probably just burns those 2 away.
He's just going to burn them both.
2-2.
So he will get a free dude now and just save the Tarrasque for next turn. So then he'll be hitting in with 3 things. And Juzam needs to hit a resource. The Grok doesn't help him. Because it'll stop the Savage Raider.
And Repel or a Diamond, essentially.
Yeah. I mean,
if he's a Diamond, he can
Repel is probably his best draw. Because
the
the Savage Raider damage... I mean, not the Tarrasque, sorry. I mean, the Zoltog is a huge threat. Just because it's going to create more free dudes, and so will the Savage Raider. He's actually just... he needs the Grok, I think. Alright, so he's going to make it so Zoltog is not going to attack. And then... so that's actually probably the best play. Because the Savage Raider has to attack. Yeah. So, yeah. That's good. Because that actually deals with, pretty much everything Phoenix can throw at him. So that's actually not too bad. He's going to go with the Tarrasque.
I think he's okay trading the Tarrasque for the...
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because he can't, he's got nothing, no other way to get rid of the Drew at the moment. So he's either basically, you block and you take the 8 or you let me have another free troop. So he'll probably just be trading here. So that puts, he's taking the damage, which I guess is fair enough.
He's going to summon a Grok next turn,
he knows,
and that keeps him taking more damage.
Yeah, he's going to use Dimmed. So that's the correct play there. Because now he can, like you said, slam the Grok, which will keep those troops tapped. He didn't get a free Orc, and he's bringing out the charge power here. And it got a 3-3, so nothing special. But yeah, the Grok here plus Dimmed charge power here will get him back to 16 life and put his opponent down to 12. So that's pretty good. And the Grok keeping things... Oh, he's going for another Dimmed here. He was thinking about the other Drew. But he is correctly going for the Grok, and that is the right move here. Because now, Phoenix basically, based on, look at his hand, he's got nothing. So he actually might die now. He may just die.
Possibility.
Because this is...
He can still draw a few... There's a few different cards you can draw.
He's got things that will get him out of this. Just getting rid of the Drew is what he needs to do.
He actually didn't gain the 8 life there.
Oh, that's a misplay. That is definitely a misplay.
He still has a second Drew in his hand, though. So he actually need the 8 life now.
Still,
would have been nice to have it, though.
Your opponent can do a lot of damage out of nowhere. Is he running Rage Fires? Did we see that in the side in the deck?
He didn't see it. He didn't see it, man. But he's running them.
Yeah, I mean, so it's possible that he could draw well and just have a couple burns. Things that I mean, I think gaining the life when 8 life is not a small amount. So it's the he didn't have the second diamond. Never mind.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense now. So he wanted to, he just couldn't. He wanted to, but couldn't. So that he couldn't actually even untap the Drew because of this. So that Drew is now just stuck there for a little bit. So now he's got a bit of a iffy. Ooh, you know what? He's actually in trouble. He's actually in trouble here. So he might even just want to exile. Ooh.
We could send you the Drew to block the 8-1 again. And then block the 5-6, and then go down to 2.
He's in. That's a tough position to be in right now. That's a tough position.
I think
Drew is probably the only play here, and then he can life gain with it next turn. Looks like he's going to go for that here.
Well, it can actually live the turn. He has to block the 8-1 with it, or so he dies.
Exactly. He needs to bring out the Drew, the exile. I mean, he can exile the 8-1, but then he's just. He's only got one blocker and he's taken 4, 5, 6, 7 at minimum. So he can't do that. He can't take that much damage.
Actually, he's taking 7 regardless, right?
Is he? Wait, he blocks. He can block 2
blocks
now.
The 5, 6, and the 8-1 with the 8. So he could have exiled
Yeah,
it and taken the same
good point.
damage,
Yeah.
and then next turn...
I think that is still the best play though, because he will be able to gain health back with Drew, where Exile doesn't allow him to gain back health the next turn. So he'll be able to live this turn, because Phoenix didn't get any burns or anything like that to finish him off. So then he'll be able to gain health back, but he won't have a blocker again. And that's the big kicker here. I mean, he's going to take out... Oh, actually, he's not going to have... No, he's not going to get health back, because he has to block, doesn't he? So
he's
losing the Drew.
That's what I was saying. If he exiled the 8-1, he'd be able to at least play...
Pretty much
next
just
turn.
boned. He's just boned.
Yeah.
He needs to top deck.
I mean, that was the best
something amazing
possible,
here.
But...
I mean, he's got even the Savage Raider just kills him. I mean, he's just it didn't draw the stuff he needed really, and Phoenix able to just get too much on the board, and he's even going to go for more, which I mean, there's not really anything to really stop him from doing that. So he's dead. Juzam is not. There's nothing he can top deck here. That, I mean, unless he's running Judgment, which I didn't really see the deck fully. I mean, that would...
No, they can't...
That would...
Decks that run that Solitary Exile and Soul Marble really don't run Judgments. It destroys their own things.
I didn't think so, but, that pretty much would be his only out. Or a Yesterday, or Grauk, I guess. Yeah, Grauk. But, he doesn't get the top deck there. And even if he did, it would have just been prolonging the inevitable. So, that is game 2. So, let's see if Phoenix is happy with what he's got now and see if he sticks with it. Or see if he wants to...
I think he's going to. I mean, he could maybe bring Tatalka.
Alright, so he's actually taking out Chimes. Which he probably... Oh, he's also taking out Total Meltdown, which I agree with. And he was happy with how Zoltog works, so he gets another one in. And Teltelka. Nice. Teltelka is awesome. Right. Very good troop. If you get that transformed, I mean... that's basically Chimes.
It's basically a cheaper Chimes.
Yeah, cheaper Chimes. And not to mention it gets to battle and kill something, provided there's no Soul Marble. But that looks like a pretty decent change. So let's have a look at what Juzam is doing now. So
he's going to bring his repels back in, I think.
He's got Time Ripples, he's got Buccaneers, he's got the card draw. I mean, I'm surprised he actually isn't running the... Wow.
He's just going to keep it as is, not bring the repels in. I'd probably bring the repels in, especially seeing as a Tarask and, I
mean, even Sapper Charges are good versus... I mean, they're obviously repels better, but, even Sappers is good, because then you kind of, if you've got the resources left open, they know they can't play down because they'll just die. But, I'm surprised he didn't put the repels in there and take out, like, something... I mean, he's got Counter Magic, which maybe is just not... maybe the repels is better. Because he's got the Stone Skins, which actually... Did he take those out?
He didn't put them in. He put them in for a second, the first sideboard, and took them out.
Fair enough.
Wants to be in the afterwards.
So
the hand's not bad for Juzam, though.
Yeah, that's a pretty good hand. I'm just thinking he should have, based on what he just saw, the repels, like, I'm surprised he didn't put those in there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they would have done, they're the things that, because based on the way he just died, it wasn't to, burn to the grounds, and I guess he doesn't know that the Chimes is not in the deck anymore, but when you die like that to a lot of troops, you really need to have some good removal, and Repel is pretty damn sweet.
I mean, he's a control deck from the first game, but you also know that after that second game, he decided to do a little bit more of an aggro deck. Not a full aggro deck, mind you, but it was a little bit more of like a mid-range aggro type deck.
Yeah.
So you probably want the repels for that kind of matchup.
Definitely.
Obviously, you could have slided back into a control deck after the second game to try to throw him off the game, but I don't think he did that.
He's got double Grunk now, which is very nice, provided he gets resources, because that also will, keep the troops at bay for several turns. So that, I mean, maybe that's what he's banking on here, just gets his Drew out, and just, starts bashing in, getting back life, and able to keep his opponent's troops, from stopping the blocks and also attacks with Grauk, which, when you've got two Grauks in hand, we're going to see a Witch here, so that's not going to last very long, though. Very likely will... I mean, he's not going to get removed yet, I don't think. I don't think it's enough of, a problem at the moment. He's not going to be trying to gain life just yet. So, but he might get rid of it, because he doesn't really have anything else to do for the turn. Oh, he's going to leave up the Counter Magic here. I mean, that's all he can do, actually. So
he doesn't have a second diamond yet, so he can't even exile it yet.
But I don't think he cares about exiling yet anyway. I mean, it is going to be some damage, but... So Phoenix actually has a pretty decent hand as well. However, there is obviously that Counter Magic.
So he didn't attack due to fear of repel.
Oh.
Obviously...
Yeah.
Juzam doesn't have it in his deck, we
Phoenix
know that,
knows the value of that troop, and it's not worth really risking it. Its purpose is not to really kill your opponent with that troop. It's not there for the damage. It's just to stop your opponent from counteracting the damage you do. with Dimmed, because Dimmed is very powerful with Drew, so he doesn't want to let that troop die. He's going to bring out. That's going to get countered here. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
That's counted.
He may have wanted to play the Hex Engine out first, just to avoid getting counter magic, but
I mean, he hasn't seen counter magics yet in the matchup. I don't think so. Therefore, he probably just wasn't thinking about it. Wasn't on his mind at the time. But or maybe he just thought he would go for the risk.
So if he brought out Hex Engine and then played the following turn, played
Scrapholder.
Slaughter Gear, he'd actually have like
15
damage on the field.
That is true.
And his opponent may not have been willing to counter the Hex Engine.
So didn't hit the fifth resource here. But he does have Time Ripple, but I mean, we're probably just going to see... Oh, there's another Zoltog actually, but the resources are open again, so he might just do the... he's going to do the Hex Engine this time. And that will be all for the turn. And I think he's still not going to attack. He's still weary of, just repels, and he's still weary of counter magic as well.
Yeah, he's playing smart here.
Yeah.
No reason to throw it away.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like, he knows the fact that he knows he loses the game because of Drew plus Dimid.
However...
So if you keep him from getting the life...
Now that he's being weary of repel, Juzam can continue to bluff that for pretty much ever. But obviously, Phoenix will test the waters probably with a Scrap Welder. Just to see, do you have it? Do you want to repel this? So there goes the Scrap Welder. He's now going to say, do you have repel? Are you running this? Do you have it in hand? Or do you not care about the 5 damage? Which, we're going to see a Time Ripple maybe.
It's the
Hex Engine.
Hex Engine to
that's a good play.
Void out the effect.
Yep, so no speed, no flight, no extra damage.
And it even prevents the 2 damage from the Witch too, because he knows that he still has repel open.
Pity that yeah, I mean that's a good play. That's a good use of that Scrap Welder now lost its main effectiveness. That's now just a crappy little 2/2. It's still something on the board.
He's very aggressive with those burns, though. I mean, I still probably...
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need to use it now. You probably want to save it for, like, the last 2 to the face or killing a troublesome totem.
I don't think you need it. Not when you're running Hex Engine. You can definitely keep that for later when it's relevant. Because, who knows what your opponent's going to bring out. Even just killing a Grauk to stop a potential Grauk, then a bounce back to hand and a Grauk again. You just want to get rid of that, potentially. Just having it there is, better than just doing 2 to the face just against someone who's sure he doesn't have life gain yet, but the Witch is not anything very hard to remove, so he gets a Rage Fire. We're probably going to see the Hex Engine.
Try to bait out the counter magic. If he's thinking about other counter magic, maybe try to bait it out with the Hex Engine first.
He's definitely going to attack.
And then play Rage Fire off the Hex Engine.
So he at least gets 2 damage.
Yeah, for sure.
Which he knows that's not going to get repelled. There's no way in the world anyone would repel that. Even if you're sitting on 4 repels, you still don't repel this at this point. Because your opponent, Phoenix does still have a lot of cards in hand.
He's trying to bait out the counter magic here, which it's a tempting bait for sure.
He does have the counter magic here, and he's thinking about it, and he's actually going to do it. Which I don't know if I would.
He's afraid of chimes next turn. I think is what it is. He doesn't know his.
But I mean, he could just. I guess. What his mindset is there is like, I'll just let that happen. And that way, if I hit a resource, I can bring out Drew. And, because he doesn't want to leave open resources again. So he gets rid of the ramp, which, So now, all he can do is bring out the Defender, which is not great. So he'll take another 2 damage from this Scrap Welder. He's obviously not going to block that. And that Defender, I mean, he might block it, because the Defender's not getting through. Unless, of course... Now, what he will do here is... he'll let the damage through. He might still lose the Defender to Rage Fire or something, but he's going to let the damage through... and probably exile the Witch and attack in for that card draw to try get a resource. He's actually going to block. So I think I would have maybe just, because your opponent did use a burn to the face. So, he might not have another thing that kills the Defender, or he might just be thinking, well, I've already got that answered. Then again, he does have charge power as well. So, maybe it's, because he can't exile everything, and now there's 3 things on the board. So probably blocking there was the right choice. But, So 3/3 once again. So he needs to get a resource here. He needs to get this growth. A resource is what makes or breaks this game right now.
I think what it is that Juzam probably should have brought in the repels and just got rid of some of these 5 drops. As you see, his hand's just cluttered with 5 drops. The deck is very heavy in the 5 area.
Yeah, he definitely needed repels, I think. Because now, I mean, he can bounce the Zoltog, which is decent, but he's going to still take more damage. And he now doesn't have repel open, like he can't bluff that anymore. So he will take another 5 damage here, which is going to put him down to 9, which Phoenix can let's see. I mean, he can't obviously kill him next turn, but he's in a very good position. He's
probably should attack first. He's obviously he probably would block the 3-2. I wouldn't done blocking the 3-3 there. So it makes sense to kill it off. Just make sure it gets 5 damage.
Yeah, he wants to just get the damage through. Because he does have the burn to the ground next turn, so he's now putting his opponent to what's that, 7 is it? Yep, 7 health. So if he hits a resource, he's still not going to get to kill him, but I mean he's got 2 troops on board, so his opponent needs to get that Grelk. I mean that's pretty much he needs to get the Grelk, and then that'll keep him in this game. If he doesn't get the Grelk out, Phoenix will be able to push through damage on the ground, like he'll be able to block 1 if Juzam was to bring out. I mean, obviously, if he hits a resource, if he doesn't hit a resource, he's just toast. He's dead. So he's dead. That's game.
Yeah.
So he needed the resource there because then he could have Grelked, which he still would have been really in a really tricky position because he would be going down to 1 health from that burn to the ground, or potentially 1 health. If he hit a resource, it would have been 1 health, and then he probably still would be dead. But, he would have been able to Grelk, then Grelk again, and it would have been down to Phoenix to get more removal, which a Ruby Lance wouldn't have worked. So he would have had his opponent very low, but the Grelk would have stopped him from finish him for possibly a few turns. And who knows how it would have went, but he didn't get the resource. So a bit unfortunate there for Juzam, getting stuck at 4 in game number 3. So that'll be the victory for Phoenix there in the Mono Ruby, control. With, some interesting things there.
Yeah, I mean, a few slight little mishaps with not playing out the Hex engine first instead of playing the Zoltog. Probably made the game last a little longer than it could have otherwise. But other than that, it was a really good game overall.
Yep.
Really interesting matchup.
That was a good game. So that's it for Phoenix versus Juzam. So catch us next time for some more matches. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you later.
See you later, guys.